lesson I've learned through it all is to not worry, but lean on and trust God in every situation. Even when I don't know what to do, I've learned that God will always guide. What Shedeur Sanders stated, a profound message from rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Now, we know he has been going through trials and tribulations since pretty much the draft night, man. For this young man to still be focused, not letting anything bother him, not letting anything turn his ship down. I commend Shedeur as a fan and definitely as a supporter of his. I want him to keep doing what he's doing. His time will come, and boy, oh boy, it's...
What's good, squad? Look, if you're tired of the mainstream takes and you want the real, unfiltered truth, you're in the right place. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and every single sub helps this channel grow. Hit that button, join the family, and let's get into this, because Shedeur Sanders, man, he just set the internet on fire. Shedeur Sanders just made an incredible announcement. It looked like Shedeur Sanders has broken his silent. Man, we know the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns has not really been online that much this season. Shedeur has definitely been locked in. Well, I'm here to tell you he took to Twitter today to drop a profound statement. Shedeur Sanders just broke his silence. And wow, it's not the typical I'm staying humble talk people expected. Nope. He came out blazing hotter than Deion's pregame shades. To me, this is Shedeur essentially saying, I'm done fighting in every way. I'm done fighting wave a white flag. I'm done fighting with the media. I'm done fighting with my coaches. I'm done fighting with Rex Ryan on Get Up. I'm done fighting with y'all on social media. I'm done fighting. Because whenever somebody brings up, like he said, like, you know, the true success is built on God, and God's the one who can open all these doors. Is this Shedeur Sanders kind of just saying, like, I'm done? For weeks, folks have been whispering about why he's not on the field, and now Shedeur is laying it all out, unfiltered, bold, and just the right amount of petty. From locker room tension to the whispers about the coach's favorites, this drama's got layers. This isn't just about football anymore. It's personal and it's wild. If you're feeling this story, make sure to subscribe. It helps way more than you think, because right now, the Cleveland Browns have turned a normal quarterback situation into what looks like a full-blown identity crisis. The same team that once thought Johnny Manziel was a long-term plan is now spinning through quarterbacks like they're casting for a reality show called Who Wants to Waste a Franchise Talent? I've learned through it all is to not worry, but lean on and trust God in every situation. Even when I don't know what to do, I've learned that God will always guide. What Shedeur Sanders stated a profound message from rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Now, we know he has been going through trials and tribulations since pretty much the draft night, man. For this young man to still be focused, not letting anything bother him, not letting anything turn his ship down. I commend Shedeur as a fan, and definitely as a supporter of his. I want him to keep doing what he's doing. His time will come, and boy, oh boy, is always going to be. And right in the middle of this Cleveland circus sits Shedeur Sanders, calm, collected, and way too chill for the chaos erupting around him. You'd think by now the Browns would have learned their lesson. Every few years they find a bright young arm, hype him like he's the next big thing, and then somehow torch his career using that same old trust the process excuse. But not Shedeur. He's not lighting matches or begging for extra screen time. He's posted up with quiet confidence like a man who's already seen the ending. It's like the universe already told him, relax, your moment's coming, while everyone else is still flipping through the script trying to catch up. See, Shedeur Sanders isn't just another quarterback waiting for his shot. He's the calm storm hiding behind the glass. The kind of dude sitting in the back seat on a road trip knowing he could drive smoother, faster, and smarter. But he's chill enough to let the one at the wheel learn the hard way. While the coaches argue about schemes and fit, Shedeur is out here mastering the art of divine patience. The narrative around Shedeur Sanders is changing, and Shedeur Sanders dropped a tweet yesterday, made the internet go berserk. But we're gonna talk about it real quick. And I told y'all the Browns starting to switch up, everybody getting ready for Shedeur. But I'm gonna tell you what y'all know, I got that guy, him Mr. Sanders, currently the backup quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, right behind Lil Dylan. You know, we gotta give Dylan his respect, because he is the starting quarterback only because this man, Kevin Stefanski, has a whole lot of faith in something something that we just can't see. Something the Browns organization couldn't spell even if you handed them the first 6 letters. Because this whole situation, it's way deeper than play calling or locker room politics. It's a straight up spiritual test disguised as a football season. While everybody else is counting snaps, Shedeur's out here counting blessings. He's not stressing over when his name gets called because he already knows who's really running the playbook, and it's not the coaching staff. And that's what makes him dangerous for Cleveland's front office. How do you control a player who refuses to let pressure live rent-free in his head? He's not on his phone at 2 a.m. searching his name on social media for validation. He's not throwing shade in interviews or dropping cryptic quotes like he's in therapy with a mic. Nope. He's smiling, showing up early, training like every day's game day, and walking out with that "I already know how this ends" energy. And spoiler alert, he wins. Meanwhile, the Browns brass, they can't process that kind of calm. They're addicted to panic energy, that desperate vibe that screams, "We drafted you to fix 40 years of bad decisions." But Shedeur doesn't carry that curse. He's not here to heal Cleveland's past. He's too focused on his future, the one that doesn't stop at the 50-yard line. It stretches straight into destiny territory. Gabriel's going to be the guy going forward. Shedeur Sanders didn't get in the game when they were up 31-6. It was game over. They were up 31-6. And then, if y'all remember, in the loss 2 weeks prior, Shedeur didn't get into the game when they were losing clearly and handedly. I think Shedeur just now realizes the Browns don't want me to play. They are not playing me under any circumstance. The Dolphins had their backup in the game. Why would you not? Correct. Yeah, it made no sense. Well, that's because Shedeur is a different backup. Because when Shedeur talks about trusting God, he's not just tossing around church talk to sound humble. He's living it. Think about how wild that is in the middle of Cleveland's chaos. While executives are busy crunching numbers on 4th down conversions, Shedeur is out here running his own kind of analytics, faith analytics. He's tracking piece per prayer ratios and logging gratitude reps like it's game film. That's next level discipline. Honestly, the Browns could use a dose of that energy. If the front office trusted the divine even half as much as they trust their spreadsheets, maybe they wouldn't keep fumbling their future every few seasons. But Shedeur, he's just built different. He spots disrespect a mile away, but he also knows when to let it slide. That blend of awareness and restraint makes people uneasy because it's power they can't control. This man could easily light up Instagram with one passive-aggressive story and have every sports talk show losing their minds by sunrise, but he doesn't. Instead, he smiles through the noise, stays locked in, and lets his grind and his timing do the talking. That's spiritual confidence right there. And here's the problem, the Browns don't know how to handle peace. They're a franchise that feeds off chaos, like it's part of the culture. Shedeur, I promise you, that stadium and that team and that offense, whether it goes great or it doesn't, at very least you're going to get the Jackson Dart effect that the Giants will. That's a good in New York where they said, all right, we got a shot. I believe in this guy. You got to do it at home right now. You got a home game. A winnable home is a winnable home game. If Dylan do play, is the crowd going to come in the game like, if Shedeur play is going to be lit up in there saying defense going to come fly around. It's the perfect time to start you a little streak if you want to start you a little. The moment things calm down, they go hunting for a new storm to stir up. It's like dysfunction is built into their DNA. So when Shedeur Sanders walks in with that unbothered calm and refuses to play the drama game, it scrambles their whole system. Cleveland's front office runs on panic and headlines. But Shedeur's tank, that man runs on purpose, patience, and prayer. It's not adrenaline, it's faith. While everyone else is stressing over analytics and play calls, Shedeur Sanders has already mastered the art of patience. The kind only the spiritually undefeated truly get. He's sitting on that bench like a man holding a secret, because to him, this isn't a setback, it's setup season. Every snap he's not taking right now is just building anticipation for when he finally steps in and flips the script. Every doubt whispered by analysts, every headline questioning his spot, all of that is just fuel for the eventual highlight reel. Shedeur is. We know who he is, what type of player and person that he is. But yesterday, Shedeur Sanders dropped a tweet and the world went bananas of facts. As the son of a preacher's, as a preacher's kid, as a child that has lived multiple facets of life, that has done a lot of wrong and a lot of right, you can already picture the moment. Slow motion footage of Shedeur warming up. Voiceovers talking about untapped potential. gospel music swelling in the background, and then boom, touchdown, destiny confirmed. Suddenly, everyone's pretending they believed in him the whole time. Classic. Meanwhile, up in the executive box, the Browns are probably holding yet another strategy meeting, which in Cleveland terms means 12 people nodding in confusion, while the team owner stares at an old scouting report like it's a Sudoku puzzle. It's comedy at this point. Every rep, every extra workout, every quiet moment he spends waiting, it's sharpening him. You can see it in the little things, those after practice sessions, the laser focus in film study, the subtle smirk when a reporter asks about competition. Speaks to, and again, it does not bother me in any sort of large way, but what it does speak to is they continue to put all of the eggs in the Dillon Gabriel basket. And they have not been shy about that in any sort of way. And it's not surprising to me. No part of this is surprising because this is how they've treated Dillon the entire time. He's always gotten the favorite child treatment, the golden child treatment, and that's okay. They've decided to do that. But to what you're saying, then you have to be right about this guy, and he's got to be better than what you've seen. And again, like, do I think Shedeur, when he wins the job eventually, is going to turn around and be like, oh, thank goodness I had those 10% of reps as the back? No, I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. That's why I'm not losing my... That's not cockiness. That's confidence. The kind that comes from knowing he's aligned with something way bigger than a depth chart. See, the Browns are out here making depth charts, but Shedeur, he's making destiny charts. They're trying to plan a season. He's preparing for a calling, and when those two worlds finally collide, it's going to be beautiful chaos. The kind of redemption story Cleveland hasn't felt since LeBron came home, because at some point, no matter what system you're in, real talent demands recognition. You can't keep a diamond buried forever. No matter how deep you hide it, it's going to shine through eventually. Even the most confused organization has to wake up one day and realize they're sitting on a once-in-a-generation competitor who handles adversity like a monk in cleats. When that moment hits, all the noise, all the disrespect, all the media chatter, it'll disappear faster than a Cleveland playoff run. Stefanski is fighting for his job life by trying to cling to Dillon Gabriel, who was his choice to go forward with, because he took him 50 slots higher than Shedeur went in the 5th round. So Stefanski knows if he gives in to Shedeur, I think he's a goner, like that's going to be the end of him, because he's dug in internally with the owner and the GM that he just wants no part of Shedeur. He doesn't like him. He doesn't like the way he handles himself. He doesn't like the way he carries himself in the locker room and the social media and all those things that nobody liked about him, or a lot of. Shedeur's maturity isn't passive. It's power disguised as patience. He's not ignoring the politics. He's outgrowing them. While others are chasing headlines, he's perfecting silence. They expect ego. He delivers discipline. They look for outrage. He brings scripture. They want reaction. He offers revelation. It's like watching chaos try to wrestle serenity, and serenity doesn't even break a sweat. You can almost feel the tension building behind the scenes. The coaches sense it. That quiet shift in the air. Reporters start circling, asking new questions. Fans begin to whisper, and that's how it always starts. A faint buzz that turns into unstoppable momentum. Then before the front office can drop another empty, we're still evaluating competition statement. The whole narrative flips. Getting asked the same question. None of us have the answers. So maybe you can give us some answers. Why aren't you getting reps with the point? I don't think that's not my place, to answer, to even be able to give the answer to that. I feel like it's not in my control. So I'm not even going to think about that or have that even in my thought process of why it is. Like, there's a lot of people that want to have the opportunity to be at this level, and I'm here and I'm thankful to have the opportunity. So the guy they benched becomes the story they can't escape. That's the true power of patience. It doesn't shout, it waits, and then it dominates. Soon enough, the Browns will realize that what they mistook for passiveness was actually a masterclass in control. Because Shedeur Sanders doesn't chase moments, he creates them, and when his moment comes, it's going to hit like a revelation, turning every ounce of Cleveland's hesitation into pure regret. They could have avoided all this mess, but then again, it wouldn't be the Cleveland Browns without a little self-sabotage, right? This team is allergic to simple solutions. Give them peace and they'll pick drama. Hand them talent and they'll create tension. Bless them with a quarterback who's spiritually grounded and somehow they'll twist it into lack of urgency. It's wild. That's the kind of maturity the NFL rarely sees, especially from a franchise where emotional stability lasts about as long as a halftime lead. So, Shedeur Sanders waits. He trusts. He prepares. He lets the chaos spin around him like noise bouncing off a wall of faith because deep down he knows something Cleveland doesn't. Every storm runs out of thunder eventually, and when it does, the only thing left standing is what was grounded from the start. And that's Shedeur. Grounded, unbothered, divinely patient, and ready. The Browns can play all the politics they want, can keep pretending their quarterback room is a democracy, but when purpose decides it's go time, it won't ask for permission. It'll just walk onto that field, strap up, and change everything. See, the Browns think they're managing a situation, but really, they're just delaying the inevitable because destiny doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't follow depth charts or PR plans. It moves when it's meant to. No matter how long they try to hold him back, Shedeur Sanders' story has already been written, and not by Cleveland's front office, but by something far greater. And if you've been paying attention, then you already know how this story ends, with purpose walking onto that field and rewriting Cleveland's history in real time. Not with bitterness, not with revenge, but with victory laced in peace, powered by purpose, and sealed with that calm, confident Sanders energy. While the world's still searching for answers, Shedeur Sanders already found the simplest truth of all. God's got it. You'd think after all the heartbreak, someone inside that Browns building would finally stop forcing it and just let it flow, but nah. They're still tinkering, still second guessing, still treating raw talent like a math problem they can't solve. Meanwhile, Shedeur is just vibing, steady, patient, unshaken. If that's not what you're trying to do, don't get me. If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't get me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over. And I've done it over and over and over. So it should be no question why NFL franchise should pick me. You know, this city loves football. I think you probably have felt that since you've been drafted. That is what this city is about, the Cleveland Browns. What's kind of that reception been like for you from the fans? It been extremely well. I would say I understand, really. I feel like the Browns fans, they just want something to hope for, and they've been wanting it so long. So finally, you know, I'm here to change that. I'm here to, you know, act while the franchise plays chess with chaos. He's sitting cross-legged in the middle of it all, completely centered like a man who already knows the ending before the movie even starts. Because here's the truth. When your faith is stronger than their confusion, there is no competition. You can't stress someone who already surrendered the pressure to something bigger than football. That's what makes him dangerous. Not just the arm, not just the accuracy, but the peace. That kind of calm doesn't crack under pressure. It absorbs it, flips it, and turns it into power. Every snub, every side eye, every not yet from the coaching staff, all of it's just quiet fuel. It's almost poetic that the Browns think they're testing his patience, but really, he's testing theirs. How long can they ignore what's been in front of them the whole time? How long can they pretend that this kind of presence, this grounded, humble, but commanding energy isn't exactly what that locker room's been missing? And make no mistake, when his moment finally arrives, it's not going to feel like some shiny new debut. It's going to feel like a correction, like the universe snapping things back into alignment. Let them keep pretending it's all about system fit and readiness. Because when the dust settles, when the noise dies down, and the lights hit that field, Shedeur Sanders won't just be stepping into a position. He'll be stepping into purpose. The kind of purpose that doesn't beg, doesn't break, doesn't shout. It just shows up, delivers, and lets destiny do the rest. And when that moment comes, the Browns won't just have a quarterback, they'll have a revelation. This whole thing with Shedeur's tweet, it's not a cry for help. It's not a sign of weakness. It's the ultimate power move. He's taken himself out of the equation. He's taken his ego out of the equation. He's looked at the political mess that Kevin Stefanski has created, this whole golden child situation with Dylan Gabriel, and he's just shrugged. He's basically said, I can't beat the politics. I can't fight the coach's ego. I can't force you to play me, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna give this entire situation to God, and I'm going to trust that his plan is better than my frustration. Think about how terrifying that is for an organization like the Browns. They are built on leverage. They're built on pressure. They want players to need them. They want players to feel that desperation to get on the field. That's how they control the locker room. But Shedeur has just unplugged from their matrix. He's not desperate. He's not pressuring them. He's not leaking stories to the media. He's just preparing. He's just waiting. He's operating on a different frequency. The Browns are playing checkers. They're moving Dillon Gabriel here, leaking a good story about him there, trying to protect their guy. Shedeur is playing cosmic chess. He's not even looking at their board. He's looking at the entire universe, knowing that the pieces will align when they're supposed to, not when Kevin Stefanski wants them to. And that garbage time situation was the smoking gun. It proved everything. It proved this isn't about football. It's not about development. It's not about what's best for the team. When you're up 31-6, the game is over. That is, by definition, the perfect time to get your rookie quarterback reps. Let him get a feel for the speed. Let him hand the ball off. Let him throw a simple slant. It's zero risk. The Dolphins had their backup in, but Stefanski said no. He kept his starter, his golden child, in the game. Why? To protect his own ego. He can't let Shedeur get on the field and look good. He can't even risk it. And then, when they were getting blown out, same thing. The offense was stuck in mud. Nothing was working. That's another perfect time to make a change. What do you have to lose? You're already losing. See if the backup can provide a spark. See if he can change the energy. But again, no. So you won't play him when you're up. You won't play him when you're down. That's not a football strategy. That is a personal vendetta. That is a coach who has dug his heels in and is willing to go down with the ship just to prove a point. He's so invested in Dillon Gabriel being the guy that he is actively sabotaging the development of another high potential asset on his roster. And Shedeur, being the son of Deion Sanders, being a preacher's kid, he sees this. He's not dumb. He's been around this game his entire life. He knows politics when he sees it, he knows favoritism when he sees it, and he knows a no-win situation when he's in one. So what's his move? Does he go to the media? Number. Does he pout on the sideline? Number. Does he demand a trade? Number. He goes to Twitter and drops a scripture. He goes to Twitter and talks about trusting God. He doesn't tag the team. He doesn't tag the coach. He just puts that energy out into the universe. That right there is a level of maturity that the Browns organization is not equipped to handle. They are a toddler franchise emotionally. They run on tantrums and quick fixes. Shedeur is an old soul. He's a monk in cleats. He's out here running his own spiritual marathon while they're still trying to figure out how to tie their shoes. This isn't just about football anymore. This is about purpose. Shedeur knows he's here for a reason. He knows his talent is real. He knows his time is coming. He doesn't need Kevin Stefanski's validation. He doesn't need the Cleveland media's validation. He's already got it from the only source that matters. So he's just going to keep working. He's going to keep smiling. He's going to keep preparing because he knows that a time will come. Dillon Gabriel will falter. The pressure will get to him. The system will fail. The fans will turn. And when that moment of maximum chaos hits, when the Browns are at their lowest, when Stefanski has nowhere else to turn, Shedeur will be standing right there, calm, ready, prepared. And when he steps on that field, it's not going to be an audition. It's going to be a takeover. It's not going to be a tryout. It's going to be a revelation. All that patience, all that prayer, all that stored up purpose, it's going to be unleashed. And the very people who tried to bury him, the very organization that refused to even let him play in garbage time, they're going to be the ones forced to watch him save their season. That's the ultimate checkmate. He's not fighting them, he's letting them defeat themselves. He's letting their own ego, their own dysfunction, their own favoritism be their downfall, and he's just waiting, grounded in his faith, knowing that you can't stop destiny. You can only delay it, and the longer you delay it, the more powerful the arrival. This tweet, this I'm done fighting moment, it's not a surrender, it's a declaration of victory. He's already won the spiritual battle. Now he's just waiting for the physical realm to catch up, and boy, oh boy, when it does, it's going to be a movie. This whole situation is a masterclass in how to handle adversity when the system is rigged against you. Shedeur Sanders is showing everyone that you don't have to play their dirty game. You don't have to stoop to their level. You can stay in your own lane, trust your own grind, and lean on a power that is so much bigger than a depth chart. The Browns think they're in control. They think they're managing a rookie quarterback, but they're not. They are a chapter in his story. They are the adversity he's overcoming. They are the Goliath in his David story. And we all know how that story ends. This whole narrative that Stefanski is pushing, that Dillon Gabriel is the guy, it's built on sand. It has no foundation. It's based on draft position and coach's preference, not on-field reality. And the first sign of trouble, the first big storm, that whole house of cards is gonna come crashing down. And who's gonna be left standing? The man who built his house on the rock, the man who's been quiet, the man who's been patient, the man who's been trusting, Shedeur Sanders. He's not just waiting for his shot. He is the shot. He's the correction. He's the answer to the prayer that Browns fans have been praying for decades. They just don't know it yet, but they will. This tweet wasn't for the media. It wasn't for the coaches. It was for him. It was a reminder to himself. I'm not in control. And that's okay, because I know who is. That's a dangerous, dangerous man. A man with that much talent, that much confidence, and that much faith. You can't stop him. You can't break him. You can't out-politic him. He's just going to outweight you. And when his time comes, he's going to outplay you. This is Shedeur's I'm done moment. Done fighting the chaos. Done engaging with the dysfunction. He's waved the white flag to their political war, so he can focus on the real war, which is preparation. He's in his own spiritual training camp. While they're busy with their petty drama, he's sharpening his sword. He's studying his playbook. He's getting his mind right. So when that door finally opens, and mark my words, it will open, he's not going to just walk through it. He's going to bust it off the hinges, and he's not going to look back. The Browns are allergic to peace. They're allergic to simple solutions. They had the answer fall into their lap in the 5th round, and they're so dysfunctional they'd rather play a guy they took 50 slots higher just to prove they were smart. It's ego, it's arrogance, and it's going to be their downfall.